obviously like different language, different culture, different education systems. It was completely different. In Romania in high school, it has a bit more of a structured path
Mm-hmm.
after university. So if you want to qualify as a lawyer, it's a bit more structured, and you know what the steps are.
Mm-hmm.
And even before starting university, I had on my list for a very long time, I had create a LinkedIn profile. I think they would be more than happy
Yeah.
to you welcome students for like a few days or take them to court. So I think.
My name is Rishi and I'm currently in my second year of law degree. Firstly, welcome to this new episode of Learn from Students. What is this? We bring on students from University of Leeds who currently study from different subjects and we learn from them. We learn their experiences, how did they find different jobs, how did they overcome different difficulties that they face in the university, and we'll talk about that. Hopefully you enjoy this episode. All right, let's start. So, would you want to give a brief introduction about yourself? Who are you and where are you from?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, my name is Amalia. I'm a law student at the University of Leeds. I'm in my final year. I'm actually on a 4-year course, so I did a year abroad as well, studying French law in France. So I've just come back from this, and I'm basically in my fourth year now. And I'm originally from Romania, and I moved to the UK in 2017, so just before the start of my A levels.
All
So
right.
I did my A levels here and then started university.
So, was there any change after coming here? Was there any changes? So, how was it like?
Uh, I think it was very different from what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, like different language, different culture, different education systems. It was completely different. In Romania in high school, we had to do like 10, 12 different subjects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you had to sort of pass all of them and get good grades. And then I came here at sixth form, and I was asked to choose 3 A levels.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, it was great that it was only 3, and second of all, I was able to choose them. So
Yes.
I was quite enthusiastic about it, and I chose subjects that I was quite interested in. So one of them was law because I thought, oh, it would be pretty interesting to study this.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them was French, and one of them was business, and they were all things that interested me, and I think that made it more easier to learn about it because I was interested in them. So um, it was difficult, definitely difficult to adapt. It was difficult to like maybe understand the teachers and the classmates at the beginning, but um, it definitely got better, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a like in hindsight, it was the best decision.
All right. So, was it like the starting point where you decided to study law when you like in your undergraduate or like the university?
Um, so I think the reason why I chose it to study at university was because I had done it as an A level and really enjoyed it. The reason why I chose it as an A level was because it was something that I I hadn't studied before, but it was,
Mm-hmm.
like I'd watch all the TV shows
Yeah.
and all the films about lawyers, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And then
Mm-hmm.
we used to have a lot of debates in my school, like public speaking competitions and debates, and we studied a novel, a book, and and we had like a fake trial, uh, and I defended the main character in the book who like killed some people.
All right.
And after the the mock trial, my teacher said to me, "Oh, you should consider studying law." And I think
Mm-hmm.
when you hear such an advice from like one of your teachers, I think it's quite like
Yeah.
it had a big impact on me. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, yeah, maybe I should consider studying law. And then I think that's kind of what made me choose it at A level. And then the fact that I really enjoyed the sort of debates that arose in the 2 years that I was studying it. I thought, you know what, I think I want to pursue this further. I struggled a lot to choose between law and business because I thought, well, I quite enjoy business as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I enjoy how current it is and how basically all the whatever it was that we were studying in class, our teacher was able to bring a news story that was happening at the time and link it to what we were studying in the classroom. And I thought that was really interesting. And I thought, okay, well, it's something very actual, it's something very current. So I definitely struggled to choose between these two. I think the reason why I chose law was because it has a bit more of a structured path after university. So if you want to qualify as a lawyer, it's a bit more structured and you know what the steps are. Whereas with a business degree, as exciting as it is, that I thought there would also be a degree of uncertainty, and you sort of do it and you don't know what to do after, which can happen with law as well. But that was sort of my rationale of why I chose law as my degree.
All right, that's a nice, inspiring story. So moving forward, so you'll be graduating like within a few months' time right now. So looking back, how is your like experience? How it's been like? How you feel right now?
Um, I think it went by very quickly. And I remember being a fresher now in 2019 and feeling very sort of excited and scared at the same time. And I still feel excited and scared now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've had a genuinely pretty positive experience, and I think I've learned a lot, and I think I've developed a lot. Like I've grown a lot of independence, sort of living away from home and having to, look after myself and make
Yeah.
food and wash clothes as well as study. And like I really enjoyed it.
That's very nice. So I saw like in your LinkedIn, so you started your law degree around 2019. So it was like
Yes.
the start of pandemic. So how was it like I know like I started my law degree 2021, so everything was online
Hmm.
and nothing was in person. So I really kind of missed the university vibe and all. So what was it like for you?
Yeah. Good question. I think I was in the lucky cohort that we had our first semester, everything was in person,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was going great, and no one was expecting the world to go in lockdown. And
Yeah.
um, even when like the first news came out of COVID, no one was sort of taking it seriously, and especially us at the uni, we weren't really taking it seriously, and we were going out and whatnot. So first half of first year was very much a normal freshers experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then when COVID hit, it happened very abruptly, and a lot of my classmates and friends, I was in student university accommodation, a lot of them were making plans to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, maybe I should go home as well. I wasn't really sure what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what was going on, what was going to happen with rent, because obviously the contract is until like the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so around mid-March, I think I went home. What happened with classes? We basically they very much just stopped them. I think it was very clear that the focus was on the final year students at the time
Yeah.
and making sure that they were able to graduate and they were able to write their dissertations and whatever. And we were very much sort of, it wasn't that, we weren't at that important at the time, but rightfully so.
Mm.
So we kind of got our exams cancelled. We didn't end up doing exams in second semester. And I basically, it was just like March, April time, and I had like loads of free time because
Mm-hmm.
we were still getting emails from teachers saying, oh, if you're interested, here's something you could read, or here's a video you could watch or whatnot. Like, but there wasn't anything sort of structured and
Yeah, and it wasn't anything like compulsory, I think. So
no,
it's upon you if you want to do it or not. So like when you
yeah,
started your law
definitely.
degree, like 2019, so was it like in person or was it like everything was online? Everything was
Yeah,
in person?
everything was in person.
Oh, so it
Lectures were
shifted.
in person, seminars
Mhm.
were in person, everything. We even went to in Freshers Week. They took us to Headingley Stadium, and we had like a day there with some of the law staff and like presentations basically
Mhm.
about the school and about like I did some activities to like get to know each other, and we got lunch, and it was very very much in person.
All right. So it was a like like a rough change at that time of that time for your degree, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no one was expecting anything to
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah, that's true. Uh, I see like you have a lot of experience in your in your pocket right now. So considering your position in your first year, you didn't have the chance to do anything because of the COVID, and still you managed to get so much experience. So how's that happen? So how is that happened?
Um, I think good. Yeah, I think because of the fact that we didn't have any classes or any exams or anything from like April until sort of June, July, when the year would finish, when first year would finish. I ended up having quite a lot of free time, like everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
and just being stuck at home and not being able to go out or do anything. And uh, honestly, I had like I'm a list person, and I like to make lists with everything I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even before starting university, I had on my list for a very long time, I had create a LinkedIn profile
Mm-hmm.
as something to do. And I was always putting it off because I was always like, what's this? Someone told me about it, but I don't really need it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
what's this? And I thought, and at the time I thought, well, I've got all this free time now, might as well do it, now.
Mm-hmm.
And after I sort of created my profile and put all the education and relevant information and whatever, I just started discovering like more and more people within the legal network.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, everyone else was stuck at home, everyone else was online.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like there were loads of people active, and it was so easy to reach out and talk to people because everyone was very willing to. Like it was sort of like it was really sweet. It was like this solidarity between legal professionals where they would just do like a Zoom Q&A for
Mm-hmm.
students about talking about like applications or talking about their work, like their professional experience or how they got to where they were, which are presentations that happen now as well, but at the time I think they were happening a bit more because everyone sort of had the time for it.
Mm-hmm. That's
uh,
true.
so I think I just found myself in that position where I was able to sort of make the most of taking part in all these uh, present like Zooms and whatnot. And I think that allowed me to sort of hear a lot from people and meet a lot of people. Well, meet
Mm-hmm.
to connect with them. And I think that sort of opened a lot of doors.
All right.
Um,
So, did you approach like uh, the firms or the professionals like personally, or like was the university helping you getting that?
no, there was nothing coming from the university at the time. I think they were very, sort of caught up with what
Mm-hmm.
what the sort of COVID response was going to be and whatnot. I think we were receiving like one email per week, like a long message from the head of school, just sort of checking in with us and
Yeah.
making sure we're okay. But the sort of work experience that I was able to get was sort of on my own. It was either, um, I remember I messaged the barrister and I said, "Oh hi, um, I'd I'm a law student and I want to get some work experience. I would be grateful if we can connect and stay in touch." Like that was sort of like I wouldn't like harass them or anything. I just sort of send
Mm-hmm.
like a message. And most people just accept the request and that's it, or they don't even accept it or whatnot. And this one particular barrister said to me, "Oh, can you send me your CV so I
Yeah.
can like have a look over it, see if I can sort of give you anything to do?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh wow, this is great. Yeah, of course." So
Yeah.
I had to make my update my CV really quickly. So for him to seem like I had it already, even though
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. And sent over my CV, and then we had a call, and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for someone to summarize some cases, like
Mm-hmm.
write like a summary of recent cases for me and post them on like the website that
Oh.
the chambers had." Um, and then he basically asked me to do like a test one, um, just to sort of see sort of my level where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then yeah, we just went from there, and I ended up doing quite a few case summaries for him. Um, and it was like obviously like unpaid work experience, but it was great because I was
Yeah.
able to have sort of feedback calls and just for him to say, okay, I think you should write this like this or whatever. A couple of times I was able to join on a few hearings, virtual hearings as well, which was really cool. And at sort of later down the line, he needed like an assistant to do some admin work, and that was paid work at the time. So I'd get like 2-3 hours of work a week, just basically like calling people or scheduling appointments or researching something. And it basically all came from that message on LinkedIn.
That's really
Yeah.
like nice, insightful of that. Do you think like students right now they can like get in contact with barristers like that you did in your like first or second year? So is it possible for students to do it right now? And is it something that they might get like the opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's always worth a try. I think barristers in big chambers might not necessarily respond purely or they would respond, but they won't give you work experience just purely for the fact that big sets of chambers have a structured recruitment process for even allocating mini pupilages, for which you would need to apply on their
Yeah.
website, which I was doing a lot at the time as well. And all the responses I was getting at the time were, sorry, we've paused our recruitment process, we've paused our mini pupilages, we'll let you know if it happens again, sorry, you're unsuccessful. Like I was doing a lot of that at the time as well. But yeah, but however, smaller chambers that don't have a system set, or barristers that sort of work on their own, not within chambers, I think they would be more than happy to
Yeah.
you welcome students for like a few days or take them to court. So I think it's always worth a try, and I think it's definitely worth reaching out to more local based. So a lot of barristers in Leeds, barristers in Newcastle, Manchester, and so on. I think it's always worth the shot,
Yeah,
definitely.
and like more than 60% of barristers are like self-employed. I guess it's the number are more higher. So like they work on their own. So if we can approach them personally, that would be like really helpful. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Or they might say, oh, can you email my assistant or can you email my clerk, and they will arrange something. But it's definitely always worth giving it a try and trying to get into contact with them.
That's right. So like moving forward, so out of those like all of the experiences right now, so which one was your the most valuable one for you? Like in terms of like your like growth prospect or like personally or like in your professional life. So which one like gave you the boost?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Um, oh, it's a difficult question. Probably the more recent vacation schemes that I did were probably because that they got to me being able to get a training contract. So that was probably sort of, but it was definitely not the starting point. So I think all the experiences that I did before that built on sort of my, I suppose, my confidence and my ability to communicate, and sort of do perform well in these vacation schemes. So
It helps you in
I
your
don't
like
know.
assessment day or like interview days. So it really helps you like get to talk to the panels. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think first year schemes were very useful. I remember doing a first year scheme. It was a week long virtual first year scheme with Clyde and Co. And I thought I found it very useful because there was a mixture of, it was basically like a mini vacation scheme where it was a mixture of, you do some work for one department, you do some social activities, you have some presentations. So I think that as a first year scheme was really helpful to give me an insight into like the full package of sort of commercial law firms, just for me to figure out if it's something I wanted to do or not. The ad hoc work for the barrister was helpful because it just allowed me to sort of like become very flexible and just sort of it'd be the case where he'd call and say, can you do this by the end of the day, and I'd have to do sort of, I had plans to do a revision or study or whatnot, but obviously I wanted to impress the
Yeah.
barrister, so I was like, yeah, of course I'll do it by the end of the day. So it helped me a lot to like manage time in sense of adjusting very quickly to what is asked for. I think also just work generally. So I used to work at Subway for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself was a very valuable experience because I always mention it in all my interviews. Tell me about the time when you had to deal with a difficult person. Tell me about a time when you had to find an innovative solution to a problem. Tell me about time when you had to persuade someone to change their opinion. All of that, I just always talk about my Subway experience because it was such a difficult job, but so much valuable experience came from it that I can talk about. So I think the point that I'm trying to get across is that it's just the non-legal work experience, and a retail job is just as valuable as any sort of legal work experience.
Hi again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one.